Steve, you released a book called Legal Business Development Isn't Rocket Science, which we encourage all of our listeners to check out. If you're watching this on a recast, there's a link below to go get this. But what would you say are some of the biggest things law firms tend to get wrong when it comes to their business development strategies?
Yeah, and I think primarily what it is that they don't have a strategy. That's number one. They're just like they're the rainmakers make the rain, the worker bees do the work, and everybody just hopes for the best. Hopefully you have a good year, and there's really no alignment in the strategy of a firm or of even of individuals having their own personal strategy. So I think that would be number one: is that there's no planning, there's no strategy. And even if there are like firms that say, "Hey, let's all put together, individual plans of how we're going to go about it this year," nobody follows them. They just take them. They go, "This is great," and then they put it on a shelf and it's gone. So I think that's number one is the lack of strategy. From there, one of the biggest things that I see and like the money left on the table by law firms is the lack of cross marketing. So if we're talking about a small mid-market firm, large firm, let's say they do, a dozen different, practice areas, and everybody's siloed. Everybody's doing their own thing. The IP does the IP, and the estate planning does the estate planning, and they all do that. And rarely are they cross-pollinating their clients. So the clients are using, three, four, five different firms for all the things that they need instead of one firm that could potentially take care of all their needs. And it's up to the individual, well, the management of the firm, but ultimately the individual lawyers being trained on how to do effective cross marketing. And in my book, I have 2 chapters on that specific subject, giving away the questions to ask so that, let's say you're doing transactional work and that's what your clients use you for. What questions can you ask that are going to pull out opportunities for litigation and labor and employment, IP, finance, real estate, things that are probably happening, but you're not privy to them because you didn't ask the questions. You didn't really bring it up. And so I think there's so many different aspects of marketing and business development that aren't being addressed, not only at a strategic level, but even on an actionable tactical level. And I think that's kind of where a lot of the firms, it's not that they're failing or that they're, in debt or losing money or in the red. It's just about how much more is there that they're not, like bringing in. It's like chips on the table, and they're just not scooping them in because they don't have the wherewithal or the buy-in from the group to have that type of function. So the book's got 51 chapters of all the best articles I've written for the Chicago Daily Law Bulletin. I've been writing for them for 8 years, and each one has its own tactical, actionable takeaways. And so it's I think a great resource for folks. And I cover a lot of ground: marketing, social media, time management, organization, business development being kind of at the heart of it.